Yo, what's up guys? This is my third video in my raid builds series. 2 days ago on Wednesday I released my Phoenix Protocol build. If you're interested in that, the link will be in the description. And yesterday I released my Devour build. Link will also be in the description for that one. So today I'm going to go over my Dawn Chorus build. Now, Dawn Chorus is a brand new exotic that came out this season, and it pairs super well with Dawnblade. So, I'm going to primarily be using bottom tree Dawnblade with this, although top tree Dawnblade is also viable depending on the situation, and I'll explain that later. So, Healing Rift, Solar Grenade, Burst Glide, kind of your standard stuff. What's interesting about the Attunement of Flame is, so you have this melee ability. Striking an enemy with this melee ability burns them and causes them to explode. Daybreak projectiles seek targets as they travel, so it just makes it easier and you don't miss adds. Killing an enemy with Daybreak extends its duration, which is very, very important. It allows you to get 20 plus kills with your super rather than just, you know, throwing the 8 Dawnblades you can with top tree. This allows you to throw, I think, like 20 or more Dawnblades. There is diminishing returns, but after those first few kills, but you can last super long in your super. And I'm going to be pairing that with Dawn Chorus, as I said earlier. Your Daybreak projectiles cause targets to burn on contact and deal more damage to them. All of your burn effects last longer, and you gain a small portion or a small amount of melee energy each time one of your burns damage a target. So this is going to be a really good exotic. Basically, I can pair it with my burn melee to get my melee back quicker. I can pair it with my super to do incredible DPS against bosses. And I can pair it with this mod right here, Wrath of Rasputin. Solar Splash Damage Final Blows have a chance to create Warmind Cells. Just like all my other builds I've released, Warmind Cells are a big portion of this video. So, Warmind's Protection is one of my other mods. You take reduced damage from enemies that are near Warmind Cells. I recommend every single person in your raid team runs this mod if you're going to be using a Warmind Cell build. They don't even need to be running Warmind Cells, because if you put a Warmind Cell on the ground and they're standing next to it, even if it's not their Warmind Cell, they will take reduced damage, which is huge. Again, Global Reach for that increased radius. Warmind's Longevity, so my Warmind Cells will last longer when they're on the ground. This allows, you know, that 50% damage reduction from Warmind Protection to last longer, and my teammates can use that as well. And unlike my other two builds, I'm actually not going to be using a Charge with Light build. Because I'm using Wrath of Rasputin on my helmet, I only have one slot left, so I'm just going to be using Radiant Light for the plus 20 strength bonus. As well as being able to charge my allies with light, which is a nice support thing. Unfortunately, I won't ever get charged with light, but that's alright. I mentioned earlier that the Everlasting Fire perk on bottom tree Dawnblade is going to be super important. Killing an enemy with Daybreak extends its duration. That's because on my bond I'm running Berserker, similarly to my Devour build. When your super ends, you gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage. Blah, I can't speak. So that's a 35% bonus, and it can last for nearly a minute if you can get like 25 kills. So that's huge. Imagine getting a Weapon of Light bonus without running Weapons of Light. But that's basically what that is. So if I can just clear a bunch of adds with my super, now I have Weapons of Light for the next minute. And that's absurd. I'm using 1-2 Finisher on my Bond simply because it's the only arc mod that I have room for to proc Radiant Light secondary perk of plus 20 strength. It may come in handy. Finisher restore melee abilities, although I probably won't really be using it for that purpose, especially because it takes away some of my super energy. The primary reason for this mod is to activate this secondary perk. On my boots, I'm running Grenade Launcher Scavenger if I need to. If I need Grenade Launcher ammo, because I plan on running grenade launchers with this, I plan on running Martyr's Retribution. Absolution to reduce all ability cooldowns each time I pick up an orb, and then just some intellect mods. On my chest, Grenade Launcher Reserves again for Martyr's Retribution, and melee damage resistance in case some adds get really close to me. Take less damage for them. On my arms, got Grenade Launcher Loader for my mortars, and Bolstering Detonation. Now this isn't like super good, I just had room on my I just had room on my arms for it. I could replace this with really anything else, but because these arms are void, this is what I had, and this is the options I had, so I get class ability energy when I damage a combatant with a grenade. Not super important, but it's there in case I need it. And on my helmet, I've got ashes to assets, so I can get some extra super energy on my grenade kills. Nothing super important. Again, I had solar on this helmet, and for Wrath of Rasputin, so I might as well put ashes to assets on it. And grenade launcher ammo finder for my Martyr's Retribution again. Now, I'm pairing all these armor perks with Martyr's Retribution. Now, because I'm running Wrath of Rasputin primarily for all my abilities, you know, because what this perk says is solar splash damage final blows have a chance to create Warmind Cells. My grenades now, my melees, and Martyr's Retribution will all be able to make Warmind Cells. And that's huge, because like I said, all my mods rely on Warmind Cells, so the more Warmind Cells I can create, the more effective my build is. So, Martyr's Retribution, pretty strong. I've got an auto-loading holster with Demolitionist perk on it. Really, any roll is going to work. Auto-loading is quite helpful, because you can throw it, you can shoot it, and swap. That's why I have a quick access sling perk on this. So, when I just fire my Martyrs, swap to my primary, and then I can swap back later, and it should be reloaded for me. For my primary, I'm going to be switching between two. I have the 7th Seraph Officer Revolver with Threat Detector Multi-Kill Clip. Any real roll, this was, I thought, going to be the best roll that I have with this gun to take into the raid. It can spawn Warmind Cells again, because it is a 7th Seraph weapon, so I don't even need to get Solar Splash damage final blows. But the other weapon I may be using often with this build is my Pulse Rifle. Any Pulse Rifle will work. I like the Chattering Bone with Outlaw Rampage. But you could use Cold Denial. You could use a Sacred Providence. You could use really whatever. You could even use a Scout Rifle like Nightwatch. Or the 7th Seraph Carbine Auto Rifle. Problem with this Auto Rifle is it's just not good. And for my heavy, I'm actually going to be using Tractor Cannon. You may wonder why, but the reason for this is because this build is DPS centric, right? If I can walk up to a boss, right? Maybe it's a boss like the Garden of Salvation boss, where debuffs aren't really super easy to apply unless you're using Divinity, right? Tether doesn't work super well on that guy. I can run up to this boss, throw my debuff on for my team, so my team doesn't have to worry about using Divinity. I can debuff it with Tractor Cannon, and then I can start using my Dawn Chorus on him. I could use Anarchy as well. Anarchy would work fine, but I think Tractor Cannon is going to be the better option because, you know, it's an easy debuff, and then I can start doing my insane DPS, because how this exotic works is when I start hitting targets with Daybreak projectiles, it starts to increase the damage those projectiles do. And even the more... Error made an interesting video on this exotic where he went over the damage numbers, and in my opinion, it is one of the best damage methods right now. It's an easy super to use, you can make so many builds with it, and you don't really have to worry too much about heavy ammo if you're using this for DPS. So that's my plan here. Like I said, I may end up switching to Anarchy instead of Tractor if we have an easier way to get a debuff, because I can shoot 2 Anarchy shots onto the boss and then use my super for increased DPS. Either way though, I think this is going to be one of my go-to builds for DPS phases, as long as I'm not stuck on well-bought duty. As for stats, I decided to go with 100 recovery, like usual, for that faster rift cooldown and the ability to recover faster. I opted for a decent amount of strength, intellect, and discipline, pretty balanced between the three, just to have all my abilities and super up quicker. Again, mobility and resilience are irrelevant here. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't actually need to use bottom tree here. You could use the top tree Dawnblade. If you're only going to be using this super for DPS, there's no difference between the top tree and bottom tree. In fact, with top tree, you can fire your ranged melee from a distance, cause the burn, and then start hammering away with the top tree's projectiles. They both have the same as long as you're not getting kills. However, because I'm going to be using this super for both Add-clear and DPS, I think bottom tree is the better option. For the last bit of this video, I'm just going to be hovering over all my weapons so you can see which weapons I'm planning on infusing and taking into the raid with me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm also going to be streaming the raid live at twitch.tv/NewoX. If you're interested in seeing how me and my team do, make sure to give us a watch. Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and like these builds. My 2 other builds I've released already are going to be in the description. And if you want to be notified of when I upload any more builds or when I go live, make sure to like and subscribe with notifications on. See you guys later.